Hey guys, it's Sean. Just wanted to let you know that this is actually part 2 of our Fabelmans and Spielberg ranked video, so please go check out part 1 before you watch this one. With that being said, thank you so much for watching, and please enjoy. Previously on The Fine Cut. Spielberg thinks he's a genius and, he was always, this.
No.
I disagree.
No, you disagree?
That's my number one.
That's your number one?
10 out of 10. It's fun. It's fine. Or not fun. It is not fun. It is not fun. It's a fine film. Like I said,
that was your number one.
Yeah, I lied. I'm sorry.
I know this does explain the outfit. As dressed as Ian Malcolm.
So, what's your 20?
My number 20 is The Terminal. My dad hates this movie. He doesn't understand why Spielberg and Hanks would do this. I see why Hanks would do it. I don't see why Spielberg would do it, because I feel like, kind of going back to the Always, he kind of did like the romantic comedy, kind of like grief type thing, even though Always isn't 100% a romantic comedy. But I don't know. It's like it's in this weird spot where he's kind of just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And like no one can stop me. And it also comes after like the darkness of AI and Minority Report. So I guess he kind of wanted some that lightheartedness, even though he did
Definitely.
Catch Me If You Can. But I think that's it. But yeah, it's good.
So my 20th is The Lost World.
Okay.
I rewatching it. I'm like, this is underrated. I think the suspense in the second act, when just everything has gone awry, like the raptor scene in the tall grass, that is like genuine suspense, like horror. The truck hanging over the edge. Third act is I think it cripples it a little. Like it's fine.
It cripples, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Especially the part where the bus crashes into the Blockbuster and you see all the fake movies they had to come up with. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
Yeah. I just find it too Jurassic World-y. That should have been Jurassic World kind of thing. But like I said, I still like it. I think it's still underrated. So what's your 19?
My number 19 is West Side Story. I like the music in it. It's just solid. I generally kind of don't really have anything wrong with it. I think I should also mention, for me personally, I think we're getting to the point in my list where I'm starting to like all of these movies I generally think are good. It's just I prefer others over, because I mean I could definitely see this moving up or being higher, but I just prefer other ones.
Yeah, definitely.
It's good. Yeah, I like it.
All right. So my number 19 is The Post. Like I said, I like journalism movies. I think it's a good journalism movie. It's really interesting, and I think we talked about it enough. So
a little bit, yeah.
So yeah, like I said, Post is my number 19. So what's your 18?
I know you have this one higher. I believe this is in your top 10, but my 18 is Empire of the Sun.
Not in my top 10. It's not my top 10.
Okay.
It moved down.
Young Christian Bale, young Ben Stiller.
Great performances.
John Malkovich, just I always compare this movie to like Batman Begins, because Christian Bale's parents, obviously, Bruce Wayne's parents, they don't survive the back alley, but in this movie, his parents survive World War II. I don't know why, I think that's kind of ironic, but I don't know. It's a very good look at like losing your childhood innocence at a very young age, and like just in these fast, quick stages.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's very intriguing to me.
Yeah. Like when I get to it on my list, I will definitely gush over my favorite parts of it.
Okay.
But yeah, so my number 18 is Bridge of Spies. It's one of the better historical dramas.
I agree.
And I think Tom Hanks says that is good, but Mark Rylance.
Mark Rylance.
Mark
Rylance
Rylance steals the movie. And it's like Mark Rylance is such an underrated actor, and for him to win the Oscar for this, I think it's
If Stallone wasn't up for Creed that same
Yeah.
year, absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
give it to Rylance. But it's
Yeah.
my heart still goes to Stallone.
I still like him in this movie. I think it's, like I said, it invokes the spy thrillers kind of a little bit, but not really.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I like it. It's just like you said, I prefer some other ones. So what's your 17?
17 is Adventures of Tintin, Raiders of the Lost Ark for kids.
That really, it really,
It
yeah.
really is. Like, and you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
I know, motion capture, it's kind of, it's not the, the cool hip thing to do, but I think for the style it actually works really well.
Yeah.
And for it being 10 years already, I think it still
Still holds up.
Still holds up.
Still holds up pretty well. My 17 is the Sugarland Express. It is his second ever film. Technically his first theatrical film, but it's good. It shows what's to come with him. It's a interesting, like, just single story that's just like, it's not this huge bombastic story. It's just a, like, small, very personal story, and it holds up really, really well. So
just the couple gets chased by the police, just trying to get home.
just trying to get home. It's pretty simple.
Yep.
So what is your 16?
Sugarland Express. Again, pretty much that's why I like it. It's simple. It's straight to the point.
Yep.
And you can definitely see a little bit of that family humanity side that he's obviously going to go down with E.T. and Close Encounters. But it's a very good foundation point.
Definitely.
For his future movies.
Definitely. So my 16 is Tintin. It's
Okay.
yeah, like I said, it's fun. Kids will enjoy it. I think parents would also enjoyed it. So it's, like you said, Raiders for kids, but it holds up, and yeah. They should have made more of it. They should have made more.
They should have made more. And mind you, little kids can watch Raiders.
Yes, kids can watch Raiders too. But
kids can watch Raiders, but this is like if like they're 3 or 4. This is kind of
like the stepping stone.
Yeah, this is
it's Tintin then Raiders. Mm-hmm. So, what's your 15?
15, Bridge of Spies.
Okay.
The only thing I'll say, Spielberg and the Coen brothers.
Yeah, I forgot to mention
the collaboration. It works.
It works really well. I think big thing that I didn't mention is that the script, it doesn't. Seeing that it's the Coen brothers, it's weird because knowing the Coen brothers scripts, it's a lot more like humorous sometimes, and this doesn't really have that much humor.
All the humor is from Mark Rylance.
Yeah, I mean.
But it's very tame.
It's very tame. So yeah. My 15 is Munich. I like Munich. It's a really interesting espionage movie, and I think it works really well, especially that they really don't win in the end. Like, they don't end up assassinating the guy that they need to assassinate, and it's kind of like, it's an interesting plot point for an espionage movie. So yeah, Munich. That's my number 15. So what's your number 14?
My number 14 is Ready Player One. Obviously, this is some personal bias here, but yeah, it definitely towards the ending with Mark Rylance and minor spoilers. I don't remember the kid's name in the movie. He gets the egg, and there's the whole scene in his bedroom, and it's just the classic Spielberg, like, cheese and like wisdom.
Yeah.
And even though I knocked it in some other movies like Hook and stuff, but I don't know. It's just I felt like Ready Player One is kind of like a prelude to Fabelmans, only in the fact that it's like he's acknowledging his movies.
Yeah.
But with Fabelmans, he's acknowledging like his whole past. And again, Ready Player One, it's fun.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely agree. It's just fun.
It's fun. Again, did I like enjoy it a little bit too much when it first came out? Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, same here. But yeah, my 14 is Catch Me If You Can. I know, I know where it sits on your list.
It's a little higher.
It's definitely a little higher. But yeah, I'd say it's the most. I see a lot of people gushing over this, and I just don't see it. I personally think it's a little overrated for the people that are like, this is the best one, kind of thing. And but I still think it's fun. Still think it's good. I mean, it's high up on my list. It's just not like my favorite. I don't see why a lot of people really like think this is one of his best. So
Okay.
But yeah, so what's your 13?
My number 13 is Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
That's a big jump.
Yeah, that it is a big jump. Again, I acknowledge the nuke fridge. That sure it's unrealistic, but Temple of Doom had them an inflatable raft falling down like 3 cliffs on a waterfall. So I mean it like cancels out. I don't know. I know people are mostly turned off by the aliens, but I like that different direction.
Yeah.
Because I mean, The Last Crusade had the Holy Grail.
I mean, the first movie has like ghosts.
Yeah.
So
it's like it's totally not far off, but I think maybe also the reason why people see the fourth one as not being as good, it's like, oh, it's kind of like it's past its time. Like, why are they doing this? But Indiana Jones 5 is coming out.
I'm excited for that,
and we are excited.
Hopefully it's
good. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Your 13?
My 13 is Last Crusade.
Okay.
It's my second favorite. It goes back to the adventure. It travels across the world. It's not Temple of Doom where it's in this one set location.
Yes.
So Sean Connery is just great in it.
Yep.
It's just fun. It's all I can really say. That's Indiana Jones is meant to be a fun adventure, and it does its job. It does its job well. So.
Fun, but also having stakes.
Definitely, yeah, yeah. So, what's your 12?
Last Crusade.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I can't really say much else. It's the bond between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery. That's what makes the movie.
It's a very good father-son bond in that movie.
Yeah, just everything involving the Holy Grail. I don't know. I think just the idea itself, people searching for eternal youth. I don't know. It's just a really cool concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my number 12.
Okay. My number 12 is West Side Story. I honestly like this more than the original. I think what they changed for this one works very well. The song "Cool" is probably the one that comes to mind. It is in the original. It's like right after the big battle that happens, or not battle. What do they call it? Fix the fight or whatever. It's
I don't remember.
It's right. It's in the original. Cool is right after the fight, where in this it's right before the fight, and I think it works really well. The cast. I want to go into Ansel Elgort. He's fine.
He's fine.
But Rachel Zegler really shines. Rita Moreno really shines. Ariana DeBose shines in this. Mike Faust shines. It's such a good star vehicle that it works well.
And everyone was skeptical that he wasn't going to be able to do a musical.
Yeah, and he proved him wrong in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, what's your number 11?
My number 11 is AI, artificial intelligence. We both know not a lot of people like this movie.
Yes.
But it is very underrated. It's Pinocchio.
It really is.
It's Pinocchio with the robot sci-fi twist. Originally was going to be a Kubrick movie.
That's such a weird thing to me.
At first glance you think it's weird, but if you actually go back and analyze all the shots and compare and contrast Kubrick style and Spielberg style, Spielberg specifically matched up for what Kubrick wanted, and I know there was huge debate about the ending, but that was what Kubrick wanted originally.
Yeah.
Which I think is very it's a very heartfelt movie, both in regards of it's Pinocchio. He just wants to be loved. He wants to just spend time with his mom, but then also Spielberg making it for Kubrick.
Yeah, I'll talk about it in a few minutes here.
Okay.
Because I have it higher up than you, but my number 11 is Empire of the Sun. This was my 10, but Something Knocked It Down. I think it's a really good World War II drama, whereas a lot of his, like, Saving Private Ryan, it focuses on the soldiers. This focuses on the civilians. You know, like, Saving Private Ryan focuses on the soldiers. Schindler's List focuses on the victims. Empire of the Sun focuses on the civilians and how they are kind of coping with it. And I think it's really interesting to see those, like, especially with those three films, how he portrays World War II and the different the different viewpoints of everything. So yeah, great performances by John Malkovich and a young Christian Bale. Yeah, it's just, I really like it. So what's your number 10?
Well, I believe this is both of our number 10s.
This is
the new Fabelmans.
I think we've talked about it enough.
We have talked about Fabelmans.
It's really good.
Go see it.
Go see it, please. Go see it, please. But since we've already talked about Fabelmans, what's your number 9?
Going into the top 10 now. Number 9, and this is where it gets hard because I feel like all of these movies should, like, I feel like at some point would have been my number 1, but it gets too hard to. Yeah. Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I like this movie's obsession and how they deal with obsession and how it devours your life, and I don't know, just that psychological struggle in trying to get that balance of wanting to keep doing this obsession, but then also, like, I got a family I got to support. Definitely. And then which one do you decide? Yeah.
My number 9 is AI. I think, like you said, it's a Pinocchio film, but it has enough there that it's.
It stands on its own.
It stands on its own.
Absolutely.
Jude Law just acting his heart out in this. It is. He was definitely going for, like, an Oscar, I feel, but it.
I don't know Oscar, but I will get Haley Joel Osment. He's very good.
Yeah, I think one of the best things that Spielberg does is he gets good kid performances.
Yes.
This, like I said, Christian Bale in Empire of the Sun, E.T., great. Yeah, it's just, he just gets good performances, and I think AI, it's one of his more personal films, and I think it shows, especially with the mom aspect of it. Like, as you find out in Fabelmans, he's more on his mom's side than his dad's side, and this is definitely a love letter to his mom.
Absolutely.
So that's my number 9. What's your number 8?
My number 8 is E.T. Even as a kid, I would cry to this. Not just because, like, obviously it's sad towards the end, but also very magnificent and magical. It's just about friendship.
Yeah, it's a very simple story about friendship, and I'll talk about it.
Okay, I was going to say
our top 10s are just
our top 10s are very similar, and then this is obviously when we start getting into the bigger classics, because it's like, who doesn't know E.T.?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
It's so iconic at this point.
Yeah, I'll talk about it, but right now I'm going to talk about my number 8, which is Minority Report.
Okay.
This is such an underrated film. This is so good and interesting. It's a great Tom Cruise performance, and it has such an interesting plot. Like,
yes.
It utilizes future tech really well. There's so many good suspense sequences, and the ending, and I mean, we have it right here. That's the main reason why. But
Minority Report is the opposite of War of the Worlds, where it's not wasted potential. They did the potential.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just a good, and I think this is honestly, like, I know you're going to disagree, but it's a better cat and mouse chase than Catch Me If You Can, in my opinion. Because I think in Catch Me If You Can, if you don't know the story, you're like, oh, is he going to get away? Is he going to get away? Where this, it's like, you want him to change because you don't want him to kill this person, but they say that he will, so you know the future kind of thing. So, but yeah, Minority Report, love this movie, It was a quarantine watch for me. That was the first time I watched it, and I've loved it ever since. So, what's your number 7?
My number 7 is Schindler's List. I have only seen this once, but it has not left my brain.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever watch this again because it just hits that hard. But it is a very good movie.
It's a very beautiful film.
It is, again, for how dark it gets being the Holocaust, it just definitely shows the humanity in Liam Neeson's character.
Oh.
And I break down into tears.
That end scene.
It
Even just thinking about it, I want to cry because it's such, like, him talking about his pennant. Like, I'm welling up right now, but, like, he's like, this could have been 2 people. He's like, it just shows how horrifying this time in history was.
Mm-hmm.
And to see that empathy, like, just that human have empathy for other humans is just so moving and so beautiful.
And not only could the movie have ended there, but then they cut to his real grave, and then they have all the survivors. It's just a double hitter.
Chills. It gives me chills.
It's chills.
So
I would have liked to have seen that movie in '93, and even just going from Jurassic Park to that.
That is crazy.
It had to be. It would have
Is crazy.
It would have had to have been the biggest 180, but I would have loved to have seen everybody's reactions.
Yeah. My number 7 is E.T.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, I think we've pretty much hit the point. It's a great kids friend movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. E.T. is just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you can definitely. It probably has one of his most iconic shots. I mean, he took it and made it his production company logo.
Production company logo, main poster.
So yeah, E.T. I love it. I love E.T. So, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Minority Report. Honestly, if Tom Cruise wasn't in Born on the 4th of July, I think this might be my favorite Tom Cruise movie.
Okay.
It just works with the one thing I wanted to say when you were talking about it is that I feel like the movie does a lot of like red herrings. Like they constantly throw that in your face, which I think why you like that it's a better cat and mouse than Catch Me If You Can. But I love the scene because I think this was what I still have my original review as when after he's done getting the eye replacement surgery, and they have the show Cops in the background, and he's on Cops, but not being the cop, but the person that the cops are hunting.
Yeah.
It's just like if like that scene is the whole movie, and like why I love the movie. Like that's the part where I just get fired up. And I'm like, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. It genuinely is just great. I mean,
it's
really
it's good.
So yeah, my number 6 is Saving Private Ryan. This is not. A lot of people would probably say this is a 10 out of 10 movie. I think it's a 9 out of 10. I think there is some little flaws, but it's still a fantastic movie, and I definitely think he deserved the Oscar for directing on this. It's like I said with Empire of the Sun. This shows the soldiers, the soldiers as these, it is. They show their humanity in them, and what war can do to a person, and it's, like that one scene where that one guy is like, let's spare him, and then it comes back in the end that he's the reason why, it hurts, and it shows that it's like, what do you do in war? So it's a beautiful film, great, or not beautiful film, but it's a very great showcase of soldiers. So, but yeah, that's my number 6. What's your number 5? We're in the top 5.
My number 5 is Jaws.
Okay.
If you don't know Jaws at this point, I don't know what you're doing.
We can't help you.
Yeah, you really can't. I obviously was scared of this movie as a kid. Just the end, everything about this is iconic. It's just so great to hear old family stories of them seeing this in the theater, and then like them like hiding under their seats because like they were that scared. It's just like it makes me excited just to rewatch it every time. And if that shark didn't keep breaking down, we wouldn't have the movie that we have.
Yeah.
Because it actually forced them to go back and focus on the characters.
Definitely.
Because if the shark worked, we would just have a B movie about a killer shark.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's weird to say, but this is his B movie, in my opinion. Like, this
Yes.
is a B movie, but because he focuses on the characters and he has such good direction, this makes it just a blockbuster. This
Yes.
is a great film. So, yeah, I'll talk about it in a few
Okay.
minutes here. But, yeah, my number 5 is Close Encounters. Like I said, I love that movie. And I showed you the clip. I think Close Encounters is probably of course, if the Fabelmans didn't come out, I'd say this is probably his most personal film, solely because, like I said, I showed you a clip. There's a clip of him on Inside the Actor Studio, and the question is, your father was a computer scientist, your mother was a musician. When the spaceship lands, how do they communicate? And I think Close Encounters answers that.
It does.
It's such that last scene when he goes onto the spaceship, and it's like you said, it is that obsession, family kind of thing, and yeah, I love it. It's sci-fi too, which is. It has that heart, but it also has cool spaceships flying around. So.
And if you want, a movie about government trying to hide secrets,
Actually,
you got that too.
I remember I talked to you right before this. Why the hell is Francois Truffaut in this? He does a really good job.
he just listen. He saw Jaws and he probably just wanted to act.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's one of those weird castings that are like. Why is he there?
I'll ask you this, though. Do you ever look at a Coca-Cola truck or like a Target truck and think to yourself, is that actually a Target truck? Or do you think they're holding government secrets?
No,
No.
But now I will.
Okay,
So-
cool. Glad I'm going to make you think about that now.
All right. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Saving Private Ryan. Again, it's just a very well-made tribute to the soldiers who fought in World War II. And arguably, I don't really know what you can cut down or trim from this movie. I know it's close to 3 hours, and that's a long movie, but it's just, from beginning to end, it's just an emotional roller coaster, and you just feel the weight on these soldiers. And even the use, or sometimes no use of music, and it's just the audio, and the knives scratching and the gunshots. It's very in your face, and it's just again how it didn't get Best Picture.
Stupid.
It's
Stupid
one of the
Shakespeare in Love.
Yeah,
But
it's one of life's greatest.
another
mysteries.
reason to hate Harvey Weinstein, in my opinion.
Yep.
So, yeah, my number 4 is Jurassic Park. I mean, I'm wearing the shirt. I mean,
I'm
It's
wearing the outfit.
it's
Yeah,
an
you're
iconic
welcome.
movie. It really is one of his best. It's just dinosaurs just wreaking havoc. So there's not really much more I can really say. I mean, it's just fun. It's fun. So what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Catch Me If You Can. I got a niche for rise and fall movies. I love when characters, start, they work their way up to the top, and then they just slowly crumble. Obviously, Martin Scorsese does that a lot, Goodfellas, but this is one of the more lighthearted ones, I would say, just because Leo is technically supposed to be like 16 years old in this movie.
That is a
Although
weird.
it doesn't. He doesn't look 16. He looks like he's 30. But
It is really weird.
it's just interesting to see that dynamic between him and Hanks because we haven't gotten that anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I know we were talking about this before, but Scorsese obviously stole Leo. He's like, yo, he's mine now.
Yeah.
I'm working with him.
I
But,
really wish Leo worked with Spielberg one more time.
I mean, they still can.
They still can.
I just don't. I don't know what project they would do.
Listen here, Leo. I know you're watching this. Work with Spielberg again.
No, I love all the banter. I just think it's ironic that they talk or meet up at just every Christmas.
Every Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, they just poke fun at it. It's fun. I love the '60s vibe. The whole scene where he's James Bond and all that.
Yeah.
I just think that encapsulates the spirit of the movie.
Definitely. My number 3, Schindler's List. I think I don't want to start welling up again, but yeah, it is shot in black and white. The only color being flames and the red
The
coat
glowing red.
and the beginning. It's so good. I know you said you probably won't watch it again, or you don't know if you can.
I don't know
watch
if
it
I
again.
can. I probably will, but it'll just be tough.
I think this is one of those. It's one of those things that I can go back to and I can go, this is something that is just very beautiful. It's finding the beauty in the destruction and the camaraderie of the people, and like the empathy, the human empathy of that is just, it is something that is just, it is moving for me.
Schindler's
So,
List is like the definition of a story that needs to be told.
definitely.
Yeah.
It is something that is just so beautiful. And it's weird to be like, it's weird to say like Spielberg being like making this very beautiful film, especially since my next one is I'm just gonna say it out. Next one's Jaws. Like, it's just so weird to be like big shark movie and then the Holocaust. You know? But like Schindler's List is just it's one of my favorite. It's my if it wasn't for my first 2 films,
It would be number one.
It'd be number one. So,
Um,
but yeah, I've already said my number 2 is Jaws. I mean, I'll just say this.
Yeah.
It's a shark movie. It's his best. What more do you want from it? So, yeah, that's why it's well directed, great characters. That's my number 2. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Jurassic Park. I like to thank my brother because he would have this movie on all the time, and I would just sit and watch it with him. And I think we still have the VHS of it. It's just, we're never gonna get rid of it. It's just classic. All the characters are awesome. The effects still hold up.
Yeah.
The fact that a movie from 1993 looks better than any Marvel movie that come out in the past 6 months, like it shows.
Definitely. Yeah.
And all the characters are just fun. It's an elevated summer movie. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see movies like it anymore.
Yeah. The sad thing to say, it's a sad thing to say, that Jurassic Park probably would not, if Jurassic Park was coming out right now, probably wouldn't be made. It was just...
It's like a right place, right
It's
time.
a right
kind of
place, right time
situation.
movie. So, since I've already said my number 2 and we have the same number 1,
we might
as well say our number 1. It's Raiders.
Raiders, everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Raiders.
Yeah, our favorite Spielberg movie. I think I would have to double check with him, but I think this is my dad's favorite movie as well.
Oh, wow.
Just very timeless. Again, I know we were talking about this earlier, but I think Raiders is the perfect transition movie from the 70s Spielberg style into the 80s Spielberg style. It's just, I don't know, the perfect adventure movie. I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, I think you put it perfectly. It's a perfect adventure. It's great. I love it. So, yeah, that's our Spielberg rank. I will put them up on screen here in a second. So
Right here, somewhere.
they're going to pop up. So, but yeah, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
You can follow me on Letterboxd at _filmworker_.
You can follow me on Letterboxd, capital H and then capital R and then Ryan. My picture is Jerry Seinfeld. That'll help.
Remember to subscribe to Oakland SVP and like this video. Thanks so much for watching. That's
Spielberg.
it. Spielberg.
Go see Fabelmans.
So, please see Fabelmans. It'd be awesome.